Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul. Thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're going to break down the NFL draft, so give us a call, 412-575-2600. What picks you liked, what picks you don't like, what picks you think might be bust, and what picks you think might be a diamond in the rough. And we know the Steelers, or at least we think the Steelers, hit a home run with that first-round draft pick. Then after that, I want to hear your thoughts. I also want to hear the thoughts of Mark Kaboly, who joins me in studio right now. He was there all weekend, and I saw him there, obviously, a lot. Yep. And we're talking about each pick. So let's just start with Devin Bush. We obviously know the Steelers wanted him. They moved up. They gave up a significant amount to get him. It seems like he wanted to be with the Steelers, and it seems like he's going to make an impact or have the opportunity to make an impact right away.
Yeah, that's the guy that they've been looking for some time now, Richie. I mean, what has it been, 2 years, 18 months since Ryan Shazier got hurt? And you know, a little birdie told me that there might have been a little Steelers party downtown on Thursday, including some players that were very happy when Devin Bush's name was called. So the whole team, not only the organization, not only the front office, were excited about this guy because they think he could be a difference maker right away.
Is he a Ryan Shazier type player, type impact player?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, everything, it showed that through his college days, Rich. I mean, the sideline-to-sideline speed is number 1 3-down linebacker, and that's what he is. I mean, sure, it's going to take some time, and I'm sure teams are going to try to attack him on the ground, but he showed he could do that at Michigan as well. So, I mean, no matter what this draft turns out to be, Rich, I think it'll be judged on round 1 and what Devin Bush does. No matter what they gave up, no matter how boring that rest of the draft was, and there wasn't many names that we know of or really pop out you or have a good backstory. But you look at 03, last time they did this, you know, moved up and got that. Do you remember who the rest of the guys were drafted in that?
No, I don't think
J.T. Wall, Brian St. Pierre, Alonzo Jackson. But we look at 2003 as a great draft because it was Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing that stands out to me about him, he just seems like a good character person. He comes from a football family. It seems like he lives, breathes football. And the one thing that I really like that Mike Tomlin said is when he took him out to dinner, he could tell who was the leader of that defense, Devin Bush, when they took all the Michigan players out.
Yeah, I mean, it's great what they do, the Steelers. They go to the pro days, and right before that, they get the majority of these players together and basically take them out to eat. They do take them out to eat, but they really gauge what type of people they are. They do it. I don't know how they do it, and none of the other 31 teams do this, but, I mean, they do it in Alabama. They do it at these big schools, and they get these guys together, and they're able to actually judge some of their character in a situation that's not purely football. So it's been working for them.
All right, so there was a pretty exciting party over at Heinz Field today. It was a draft party, Steelers draft party. Charlie Batch and I broke down the entire draft at 7 o'clock. Hopefully you watched that on KDKA, and we're going to continue to go over the draft with Mark Kaboly right now. And, you know, I want to dive into some of the other picks, and maybe we can do it after the break. But the one thing I want to touch on before we go to the break is, you know, how did you feel about the second-round pick? I wasn't there. I was here when that pick was made, and what was the feeling there? Because it just seemed like if you're going to judge social media and what people were saying, these draft experts, that it was kind of a reach pick.
Yeah, I would say it was a little bit of a reach pick, but it's not a reach pick if they really thought other teams were going to get him. You know what I'm saying? The wide receiver coach, Darryl Dregg, said, hey, I know Bruce Arians was coming to get this guy 3 picks later, so we wanted him. You listen to the front office, you listen to the coaching staff, Colbert, Tomlin, it's the second coming of Jerry Rice right there. That might be a little bit premature, safe to say that is, but they love the guy. They absolutely love the guy. I don't know, you don't see him on – that's the issue we have here in this day and age, Rich. You don't see him on so-and-so's mock page, or he's ranked at the 16th best wide receiver in so-and-so's board. It's a bad pick. Well, obviously he wasn't 16th on the Steelers board.
No, he wasn't. And when you look at that third round, I think it kind of evens out, because if you would have told me they would have drafted both of those guys, I would have assumed that Justin Lane would have been the first guy to go.
Yeah, I mean, it broke well for him in the second day there, where, actually in the first day where a lot of cornerbacks were left off, and a lot of wide receivers were left off, so I was able to push some guys down. But we don't know. I mean, Justin Lane's a converted wide receiver that going to need some time here to
like a Brian Allen.
Develop. So you're looking basically here, a guy, number one, you're going to throw in right away, and hopefully he contributes right now. A number two guy in history tells you, wide receivers take a little time to develop, other than maybe Juju Smith-Schuster. And the rest of these other guys, they're hoping to get on the field in about 2022. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a fix it now other than maybe the Devin Bush and maybe the Deontay Johnson pick.
Well, the one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to question the Steelers when it comes to drafting wide receivers. I mean, I know the jury's still out on James Washington and what he can do, but you could see some of the guys they did draft before that.
Who, Sammy Coates?
Well, okay, you got me on that one. But wasn't he a 7th-round pick or something?
I think
he was a third. Yeah, he was a third. They got a 7th-rounder for him. Lima Sweet. He was a 2nd-round pick. But I'm talking about the guys after him. Martavis Bryant, Juju Smith, Antonio Brown even before him. So let's not question him about that, I guess. I don't know. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Give us a call. See what you like. See who you think that they should have taken at some point in the draft, maybe in the 3rd round. I know Chase Winovich was there. I know Pittsburgh would have exploded. A lot of local people wanted them to take him there in the 3rd round. He was available for that first pick, and that didn't happen. So give us a call. 412-575-2600 is the number. We're talking Steelers draft tonight. See you in a couple minutes.
Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.